Hi guys, welcome to another Delmore intro guide thingy-bob. This time I'm talking about the gods and the pantheons of Delmore. Reason being is, good dear me, we did get a few people that the actual gods actually matter with. So I figured, as I was putting some meat and bones on my pantheons, I would do a video on them. So basically there are two pantheons, and then there's the Orc God. Orc God's nice and easy. It's the bog standard D&D Gramash. And I'm not changing him. He is as he is. He's the one god the Orcs worship. They're monotheistic society when it comes to gods, so that's nice and easy. Then we go on to the human and the other races gods. So the original three races, the elves, the dwarves and the gnomes, worship the same set of gods. Some of them will worship others in more than the others, and that is a mixture of the different gods. So, and the different races. And then the humans who arrived into Delmore as aliens, as travellers from via the Mist Gate, have their own gods, and we'll talk about them as well. So we'll start off with the five elder gods, the Temple of the Five. Obviously, there's five gods. There are, let's see, which order should we do them? I'll probably start off with the father god, as he's known, of Vorgoth. He is based around the sun. Some similarities to Palo, I suppose. Known as the Sun Father, known as the Shining One, seen as the father of the world and the protector of the elder races. He is seen as the father figure of the gods. He isn't the father of the other gods, but he's seen as the father figure by the elder races. He's worshipped by all of the races pretty equally, including the humans. The humans do worship the elder gods along with their own. They arrived on the planet and they were given sanctuary here, so they feel they should support the gods that gave them that sanctuary. We've then got Rhaegon, who is the god of death and healing. Some people might find that's a bit of a strange mix, but for me, healing and death do go hand in hand. He protects the living and dead in equal measure. He protects the souls of the fallen safely to the afterlife, whatever the afterlife is, which still to decide him if there's reincarnation, if there's a well of life or something like that. But at the moment I'm thinking that he passes them into the mist and they travel to somewhere, maybe another world, maybe actually an afterlife, an undying period of time. I haven't decided. We'll see where that goes. We've then got Kosh, who is he's the purifier. He is very much seen as part of the sea, the waters, somewhat nature bound, but not totally, because there is another one coming up who is very much the wild areas of the world. He is seen as a healer in the same way as Rhaegon is, but slightly differently. He's he is an old man. He is very much the classic sort of looks of a hermit and a wise old man, shall we say. Some people, like the Wizards of Lord of the Rings, etc. He probably is seen. He's probably the one who has the most interaction with the elder races, because he's seen as a purifier, making sure they stay on the right track, shall we say. And some people think that the water's rising and him being the god of water may have something to link with each other. Who knows? That includes me. I haven't made my mind up yet. You've then got Ariane, who is female, who is Image-wise, she looks very much like an elf. Probably the reason the elves look like they do. She is the goddess of forge and fire. She's the craft of the gods. There are numerous items made for the gods, and a number of them which are on the mortal plane. And if the players find one of those, we're in for an interesting time. She is also probably the person who helped the elves come up with how the hell to build the sentries, the AI robots of this universe. Very much like the Warforges, but slightly slimmer build, looking slightly more sensible because they're built by the elves rather than the more normal dwarves or gnomes, etc. The last god of this pantheon is Daran, who is the god of the wilds, the seas, and the places of civilizations not reached. Basically, he's the woodland mountains, the distant seas. While Kosh is of the water, it's more the rivers and the coastal areas. Daran is of the deep seas and those places where the races haven't really got to yet. What that means to the players, who knows? He is worshipped. None of the races worship him a huge amount because he's not about civilization, but who do worship him are the sailors and the seamen of the world, and who are pretty important to this world as of now because there is a lot of sea travel. So that's the five initial gods: Rhaegon, Vorgarth, Kosh, Arian, and Daran. They are the pantheon. They were there before the world wars. They will be there after the world wars, unless one of them manages to get themselves killed. Not very likely. These are gods. Need some very powerful magic to be able to do anything to them. They do appear on the world. They can bring a physical form to the world. It's not just dreams. It's not just a spirit. They can actually bring a form to the world. They haven't done in a long time. Soon after the waters rise, they helped the races the people that survived to survive in the initial years. Solaris on Ashendas is a city where they actually lived for a number of years. And even though this is a city of a human civilization, the older races, the elder gods, were based here for a period of time. They also travelled to Hydaria and Iron Peaks and Gwyn. I'm not even going to try and pronounce the name Kingdom. I haven't decided if I like the name or not yet. But that's the south, which we're not likely to go anywhere near at the moment. We'll see if we do. And they help support the races, both human and elders, to survive and start flourishing again. The Temple of the Exiles, which is the gods of the humans. There's only two gods anybody talks about. There's probably a third god. I haven't made my mind up yet, but the third god is one which technically nobody worships. So we're going to ignore him for the time being. We may come back to him in another video. The twin gods of the humans, which everybody knows and worships, arrived on Delmore with the exiled humans, and they were in physical form. They are the reason why the humans managed to find their way through the Mist Gates safely without all being eaten, destroyed, murdered, jumped on by any number of creatures of the mists. They are twins, the brother and sister. There's Braca, who is the pale man, who is described as albino with a great sort of pure darkness of nothing really. You see the sword because you can't, you see the edges of it rather than being able to see it. No light reflects off it, nothing comes back from it, so it's just a blank space. He is a warrior and a defender of the people. He is seen as the great defender and the reason the humans survived the trip. His sister is Freka. She is seen as the balancer, the person who controls the balance of civilization via the wild, of life and death. She decides if the humans are worthy of travelling to wherever they go after death. In actual fact, the humans mostly believe in reincarnation, but only humans to humans. They don't believe in a up or down scale, but they also believe there is a place after death that once their soul has reached whatever point they reach, there's a place for them to go and rest and relax afterwards. They can always come back at a later date. That may be some interesting storyline stuff. She is seen as very much a petite, blonde hair, blue eye female form. Nothing spectacular about her until you look at her eyes, and when you see, you could lose yourselves in her eyes. Again, very much these gods do take form in more way, probably more often than the elder gods do, because they've only been on this planet for a lot less time than the rest of them, and they still worry about their humans, and they're still wanting to make sure their children will survive. They weren't happy over the flood, but they also won't talk about what caused the flood. None of the gods will do. Are they forbidden from doing so by some greater being? Is it because they actually don't know what happened themselves? They just admit something happened and the ice caps melt. All of them did help keep the races alive after the flood. So probably not vengeful god destroying the world due to them messing up, I would think. But what caused it? Why didn't they stop it? They are gods. They probably could have stopped the tsunamis which sank the world, sank a third to half of the world's lands, but they didn't for whatever reason. So for me, that is the main 7 gods. As I've said, there are 2 other gods. There is the orc god, who I'm just leaving as the basic D&D orcs because they've come from another plane. They've come from another world, another plane. So they probably came from the standard D&D multiverse. So we're going to keep that as is. And there is a 3rd god of the humans, which nobody talks about because he is evil. He survived getting through. He survived somehow, and he arrived with the humans, but he didn't help the human race. He just came through, and he probably has his odd worshipper in the world, but in a main he is seen as a being of not worthy of worship. So he's there, he is god level power, but he doesn't have that many worshippers, if any. So does he matter? We'll find out. But for now, we'll leave it at that. I'll see people next time. Hope people enjoyed this, and any questions about Delmore, please ask them in the doobly-doo below, and I'll either do a video or respond in the channel in the comments. But for now, goodbye.